Is there anything that'll indicate when it turns off? Like, is that red light? Just in case it
The
does.
red light probably goes off, bro.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's blinking right now.
Yeah, I think that's what it was doing before.
One thing that I've really been hearing in different sports circles when we talk about the Broncos, it's been a major heat wave. It's fall here in Denver,
Yeah.
but it's been a major heat wave.
Alright.
People putting a lot of pressure on Denver's defense.
Yeah.
Saying how bad they've been playing. I think it's I look at the defense and I have a different opinion. But the first fact that people like to throw at me is, that Denver's pass defense is ranked 30th in the league out of 32 teams right now.
Doesn't.
Denver's been scoring over 40 points per game.
Mm-hmm.
They've been jumping out on teams early, having big leads, and they've been playing with big leads late.
Mm-hmm.
Can you kind of give a picture of what happens when the Broncos have an early lead or when they have a late lead? What type of strategy is involved for the Broncos defensively, and then what happens with the opposing teams offensively?
Well, see, and that's the thing. I know a lot of people want to use the cliche, numbers never lie. And, that's usually something that you can reference to. But in this case, them being 30th is only speaking to the point that, like you're saying, we're up. We've been playing from high leads for the most of these games that we played. And what the offense will tend to do in that circumstances, they're going to just throw the run out the door. They have to pass the ball to try to catch up. So the Broncos are playing shell defenses. They're playing basically just 10 yards back and just letting everything happen in front of them, not trying to give up big plays or trying to make turnovers happen. So that's what happens in that circumstances. You get a lot of checkdowns. You get a lot of yards that are being given up. In the past. The passing game. So, excuse me. A number that people aren't looking at is the Broncos are number one in passes defended. So that just goes to the point that we've been playing up from leads and playing from up, and so therefore they're passing the ball more.
So teams are passing the ball. The teams are passing the ball more, and so they're obviously doing a good job of defending those passes. They're tied at the top of the league with KC for passes defended.
Yeah.
So let's continue to dissect the defense that everybody thinks is just so horrid,
Yeah, exactly.
and let's use the Seattle Seahawks as the measuring stick because
everybody's
favorite D.
Right now, they got Pro Bowlers across the board, supposedly at every position. Another stat we have to look at is with the secondary is interceptions. That's how you gauge if a secondary is good or not, right? That you would think. Seattle has 11 picks.
Okay.
You would think that would say that they were just dominant. The Broncos have 9. Meaning that we've been able to create turnovers and
Gap's not that big.
Gap's not that big between them and Seattle, and they're supposed to be the measuring stick of what a defense is supposed to look like.
Sacks and interceptions. That's what teams want their defense to do. Sack the quarterback. Cause disruption in the backfield, pressure the quarterback. When we talk about getting to the quarterback, where's the Denver pass rush stacking up against some of the rest of the league?
Well, the Broncos are actually 6th in the league in sacks. That's pretty good. There's only 6 teams they're tied for 6, so there's only 4 teams that have more sacks than them. The Seattle Seahawks have 23 sacks.
Okay.
The Broncos only have 4 less with 19, and that's without Von Miller for every game except this last game. So to me, you would think that would show that the Broncos are being able to be effective on defense in certain circumstances. Now, however, though, you do have to look at the gaps with the defense, and obviously, with that being said, we being the number one team with pass defenses, but the way I look at it, our linebacking corps has been better in coverage than our safeties have.
Very true.
Danny Trevathan leads the team in picks right now.
Outside linebacker.
Linebacker
leading the team in picks right now. And another thing I want to bring up is, yes, Denver does have the number 4 run defense. They're pretty stout, and once again, we will even allude to the fact that teams can't really run the ball that they want to once they get down a couple scores. But the run defense has been very stout. when Denver scores quick, you have to realize the Broncos defense is not going to hold people to under 17 points in games, because when Denver scores quick, it allows for other teams to get their offense back on the field pretty quick. And also, when you're talking about games where Denver is up by 2 to 3 scores late, they don't really mind conceding, giving up points late when the game is pretty much out of question. So I'm really going to base my grade of the defense off of, creating turnovers and getting to the quarterback and causing pressure like that. So I would really say, give this defense some more time, and I still think by season's end, this is going to be a total defense. This will be a top 15 defense.
Yes, I mean, you gotta, looking forward, I mean, you have to think that we have to get better play from Raheem Moore. I mean, he hasn't been really as we've sort of spoken about before. He really doesn't make plays the way you would need a safety in this position.
The only thing Raheem Moore does well is put on his uniform. His I like his accessories. His wristbands is real sweet, and he cashes his check and takes it to the bank well. That's all he does.
Calls himself the Dream.
That's it. He got a cool nickname. That's all he really does. So, at the end of the day, I just feel like the defense has a lot of potential to get better, and I think they're making enough plays right now. So I would tell people to back off. It's one loss. This is the same team, that has obliterated most of their opponents this year. So I really think that people kind of need to take things lightly. All right. We're going to, you ready? We're going to go